What is the difference? I mean, when you play like the style of harp that you do on the songs, which is what would you call that? It's not a blues harp. It's kind of like a fun harp.
Yeah, they call it straight,
Just
or
straight?
you can call it Neil Young.
Neil Young.
Or if you're in A, you get an A harp, and you start off blowing.
Yeah.
And that's play
it.
white guy harp.
Okay.
And then black guy harp, you start off, if you're in A, you get a D harp, and start off sucking.
Oh yeah, so you can, and then you got to figure out how to bend that thing.
Yeah.
And then the moment you figure out how to bend a note, you're like, oh shit, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Right?
And then you can play.
It's right. It's true, right?
Yeah.
That's a big moment too.
Yeah.
It's like learning how to fucking juggle.
So you got it. You've done them.
Hey, look, man. I still have some part of my brain, having never played in a band before in my life, still thinks at 48 that's going to be my next thing.
Nice. Why
No,
not?
because it's ridiculous, Todd.
Well, so
I said, what the world needs now is another bunch of 48 dudes. I don't even know if I would have been a folk singer. Sadly, I probably would have started a rock band at 48.
Yeah, the world could use that.
Another 48.
What's the problem with doing it at the bar down the street?
There's nothing.
That's what I like. I have a side band where I just play, because I try to play lead.
Yeah.
And I got a band called the Bulldogs where I just play lead.
Wait, is lead...
I'm terrible.
Oh, really?
Terrible at it.
So that's your little, that's a band where you're kind of like, don't tell too many people.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to have fun and figure something out here.
Yeah. And we play like Louie Louie and Tutti Frutti. And
Do you really?
Wooly. Yeah.
So you do like classic old guy oldies?
Yeah, that's right.
Not even cool oldies?
No.
Just like the 3-chord oldies.
Yeah, exactly. We're called Elmo Buzz and the East Side Bulldogs. We have a sax guy and everything.
Well, Todd Snyder's in the garage. You got some crew here.
Killer garage.
Thank you. What do these guys do? Road
Elvis
manager?
and Brian fucking leech off me and fucking put me down.
Yeah?
Especially the Elvis one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I come off the show.
What's their jobs?
Hey, what the fuck do you guys do?
I do it.
Fuck.
Every day.
You do everything?
Every damn.
That's what he said.
Well, you know what the important thing is? They're laughing, and that's got to be right up there on the top of the resume. They will laugh at you.
They laugh I think that's about the height of it. Roll joints and laugh at my jokes.
That's very important.
Yeah.
You got to have those guys.
Have a guy do that.
You've earned those guys.
Earned it. Fuck yeah.
When you're in the business for a while and you got guys to roll joints and laugh at you, you've made it.
Yeah, that's right.
Then it's just a matter of how many of those guys you have.
How big is that thing going to be? We're looking to add a guy.
Yeah.
We're really smoking a lot of weed these days. They can't do it fast enough.
You need a few guys. But then you got to wonder, like, hey, wait, I'm not smoking as much as my weed as I thought I was. Why are there 9 guys and I'm out of weed?
Yeah,
then
I'm running out of weed.
Yeah, then there's
quick.
a problem.
Yeah.
So where you guys just played last night, I think that's...
We did, man. We played the El Rey last night.
Well, I wish I would have come, but I was stuck on a film set doing a very small part in a silly movie.
Oh, yeah? I always wanted to try that, man.
I think your time is coming.
Why am I not acting?
Why, have you tried?
Yeah, I didn't do very good.
What do you mean? You auditioned?
I didn't know what to do with my hands.
That's always a problem. When you don't have a guitar or a mic, it's like, yeah, here we go.
They wanted me to play a 40-year-old folk singer stoner, and I couldn't even nail that.
That's a stretch, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So maybe that's not going to be my thing.
For a movie?
Yeah.
First of all, I got to say thank you for doing it.
Oh, yeah, man.
Because I got up, I got in late and I was tired. And yeah, I'm just not a few years older than you. And I had that moment where I'm like, there's no fucking way these rock guys.
Oh, we were
these
out
folk
till
guys.
2:30 or something too. Yeah.
But 2:30 is not all night.
No,
you seem to talk a lot about weed, not the white powders or any of the dangerous shit.
I've done some of it, but it's not my thing.
Well, you're lucky.
Yeah, I never acquired
the
that's
desire.
Never something that made. If I ever did, anytime I ever did blow, I didn't want to do it yesterday.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
As soon as I smoke weed, I want to smoke more.
Yeah, I used to smoke a lot of weed myself. But
I could see myself trying to stop one of these days.
But I'm happy you came. How'd the show go last night?
It was great. We had a good time. And a bunch of famous people came. Steven Tyler was there. And
wow.
I didn't get to meet anybody, but
what do you mean? They didn't come backstage?
No.
Who else was there?
Johnny Depp was there.
Depp made the trip from France to see you.
Yeah. Got to be a huge fan.
You didn't meet him either?
And Natalie Portman.
Portman.
The only one I met was Johnny Depp. So again, these guys, their job is sort of, they might have made that up. I got to visit with Johnny Depp, who I think was an interesting guy.
Oh, you did hang out with him?
Just for a little bit, yeah.
Could you figure out what his accent was? Yeah, he's got one of those weird accents where it's like, did you make that one up?
Yeah. I've got a lot of friends that do that.
You do?
Yeah. And my friends, I'm from Oregon, and my friends think I'm putting on a Southern thing, which I don't think I am, but maybe, a little. I copied Jerry Jeff Walker, so.
That's interesting. Out of all the people in the world, Jerry Jeff Walker, he had a big influence on you?
Oh, yeah, he's my man.
Isn't that interesting?
When I was like 19, I decided I'm going to be Jerry Jeff Walker.
But I remember, I grew up in New Mexico, so Jerry Jeff was, he up against the wall, Redneck Mothers, right?
Yeah.
And there's a couple other hits, but I don't know. I think I might have even seen him when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But I don't register him as one of my dudes. And I've actually never heard anybody register him as like, that guy changed my life, Jerry Jeff Walker.
He changed mine.
How does that happen?
One night, he wrote Bojangles is his main thing he wrote. I was,
Bojangles is a man?
He wrote, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Bojangles. I was 19 and I had moved from Oregon to Santa Rosa and then to Texas. And at the time, I was, my family we didn't have money and I couldn't go to college, so I was a bit what you'd be like a freeloader with whatever group I'd fall in with. I'd be a busboy at the restaurant and live on someone's sofa. And I've been doing that for 2 or 3 years. And,
how old were you?
18.
Okay.
So and it was started maybe when I was 16 or 17.
Right.
I think I left home when I was a junior in high school. So I was a freeloader.
Did you split like angrily?
Yeah, a little bit.
Really?
Bit. Yeah.
I'm done with you, Dad.
Yeah, fuck it. They were Republican jockey. I come from Republican jock, scoreboard, USA champ.
Do you have jock siblings?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I still don't hang out with any of them. They like George Bush and I don't get it. I never did get it.
What was the old man's business?
He was a bit of a grifter, and then which made it weird because he did construction stuff. And interesting cat though.
Yeah,
good cat.
Do you talk to him now?
No, he's passed away. Passed away a long time ago, 15 years. He only made 54.
But you made some peace. You made some peace.
Yeah.
After you ran away.
Yeah, he always thought the band thing was ridiculous, and then I got a record deal the very year he got sick, and he came to a show, and he said something like, well, "I get it. That's work. You're working." And I thought, yeah, what the fuck do you think I've been doing? He just thought you're trying to get laid and putting off getting a job.
Right. But it's interesting because I had that thing with my dad, too, where they think it's some sort of phase or some sort of bullshit. But, when you're a musician or even like doing what I do at stand-up or doing this podcast, I work my ass off. And you realize that. And then all of a sudden you got to be grateful to your old man because my old man was a workaholic.
Yeah, and that's right.
There's very little things they instilled in me, but it seems like a work ethic was one of them.
Yeah.
Just because he was never home. I'm like, well, that's what I want to be.
Yeah.
The dad that's never home.
Yeah.
But I got no kids.
I didn't do it either. I didn't have kids.
No?
Me and my wife didn't want to.
How long have you been married?
About 12 years.
That's good.
Yeah.
And you're not going to do it?
No.
All right. Well, let's get back to 19. So here you are. You were in Santa Rosa?
Oh, no. By this time I was in a town called San Marcos, Texas. And I was living on this, I decided that I could maybe be a lyricist in a band. That was my vision.
A lyricist.
Yeah. Or maybe the singer or the guy who made up the words, because I knew the dad had a guy like that.
Right. Yeah. Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, you just picture the guy that just drove in the bus with a pad.
It's like,
I think I got one.
Strawberry roses. He could just knock this out. That looked like a cool way to live.
Yeah. I'm taking a break.
And then I went to, a buddy of mine played me some Jerry Jeff, and I thought it sounded cool. And then I went to this place called Green Hall, and he played by himself with just a guitar. And I saw it, and I thought, that's it. I'm going to do that. And I went the very next day, and I got a guitar and just started following him around.
What kind of guitar?
It was a Takamine.
That was your first guitar?
Yeah.
They're not bad. That wasn't bad.
Yeah.
That's good.
Working man's rig. I played it for years. And then I just started doing that, singing by myself. And I think it was because he was singing about being a freeloader, and he was putting the spin on it that it was a free spirit. That was the first time I'd ever seen anybody work that grift. I'm not crazy, I'm eccentric, or I'm not broke, I'm free. All that kind of.
Right. So there's a pride to it. There's a choice I'm making.
Yeah.
And there was no a lot of the more some singer-songwriters, especially country ones, when you have that disposition, there's always a woman throwing you out, or you lose one, you're on your way to another one, and there's problems.
Yeah, that. And I thought, well, this helps me put a spin on my own life. I just thought, I'm a guitar away from that. So
being Jerry Jeff Walker playing alone.
Yeah.
Towards the end of his career, or he plays still.
He was my age then.
Right.
He was about 45.
But the arc had happened, right?
Yeah.
And he was just touring by himself.
Yep.
Because it's weird. I've noticed that, once a dude that had a band starts touring alone, you're trimming things up.
That means they're starting to try to save some dough.
Yeah.
I started doing that at like 30.
Well, so you were following him around. Does that mean you were like the kid who was like, Jerry Jeff Walker would be like, what are you doing here, kid?
He doesn't remember, but I was always in the front row. He tells me that, then I met him. I opened for him in Memphis before I even made a record. And he recognized me from the front row of his last 2 or 3 Memphis shows.
Yeah.
And he was like, I know you. And I'm like, I'm sitting right in front of you every time you fucking show up. And then we've become friends. We've even had fights, man.
Really?
Yeah, I love the guy, man.
So you've had a relationship with this guy for over 20 years.
Yeah, he's like a dad to me. We just went to Santa Fe together not long ago, and it was fucking cool. We closed this bar down, and when we started walking back to the hotel, nobody's on the street. Nobody. And like around the corner, you can hear a banjo going ding, 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 ding. And I said, man, is somebody playing Bojangles? And we walked around the corner, and some old street dude, for no one, is singing Bojangles. Got a hat out. No one's on the street.
Coincidentally?
Come on. No, I couldn't believe it. And we were like, we got to go over there. So we walk over there, and I'm thinking, I got to tell this guy that this. And then I thought, no, I want to sit here and see if Jerry Jeff says who he is.
Yeah.
He didn't. I think he cried even a little bit. He's 70-something, and I could just tell he was moved as shit that this was happening.
Oh, it's so lucky that neither one of you said anything, because it was a 50-50 chance that the dude would be like, Jerry Jeff who?
Yeah.
Like, didn't even...
Yeah, that would have ruined it.
That would have fucked it all up.
And so we sat there and we listened to him, and when it got over, Jerry Jeff went, "Wow, it was great, son. That was great." And put a few bucks in his thing, and we walked on back to the hotel.
That's amazing that there are dudes that write that one, like, that one tune. Like, I didn't know he wrote that song, but I know that fucking song.
Sure.
And Up Against the Wall was such an anthem, you know, when I was in junior high, and it was not necessarily, in my mind, those weren't the best kids who were, you know, but,
they might kick your ass. See, I grew up in Oregon, so I didn't know anything about that outlaw shit till about 83 or 84. You know?
What part of Oregon?
Beaverton.
I'm not sure where
Outskirts.
that is.
That'd be like a suburb of Portland.
So you grew up there till you were like 18?
16. When I was 16, my family moved to Houston. And then my dad had to go back to Oregon for something, and I rode with him. And when I got out of the car, I was like, "You fucked up." And I'm like, not getting back in the car. And I went over to my buddy Mike Sadie's house, and I told his mom, "I'm living here now."
What, you're gonna have to, if you want. What do you mean? How does dad fuck up that bad on a car ride? I understand that it's very easy.
Yeah, no, I had the plan the whole time. I just thought you shouldn't have drove me all the way out here, because you could have kept me in Houston. But now I'm back in Beaverton. I was about to be a junior, and he was like, "Come on, we got to leave," and I was like, "Fuck that."
I'm going to live with my friends.
Yeah, he never could find me again.
Oh, really? For how many years?
Well, never went home.
That was it.
That was it.
How'd your friend's family feel about putting you up?
They would you believe my grades went up when I left home? And I just started bouncing around. I had about 3 friends whose parents would let me crash. And one in particular, but then some other people would take me on the weekends to give them a break.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny how that works when you're actually probably fucking up in school just to piss your parents off.
Yeah.
You know you're smart, but you don't want to give it to them.
Yeah, that's sort of what I think, too. I was like, yeah, that's right.
I'm smart, but you guys don't deserve it. You deserve to be aggravated and disappointed.
My family, they were fucking, well, like I'd get shitty grades and they didn't care.
So how'd you end up in the music business?
So from Beaverton, I was going to try to go to junior college. I went to Santa Rosa. I kind of did the same thing where I got there and didn't end up going to the junior college, but just hung around the junior
Rosa,
college.
I can't remember. That's like, there's nothing there. I'm thinking San Jose. Where's Santa Rosa?
Santa Rosa. It's like right next to San Francisco.
Right.
Just up above it, I believe, yeah.
Right. There's not much there.
No.
Malls, right?
Yeah, malls.
Yeah,
strip malls.
But San Francisco's cool.
Yeah, I went there once. We went down there once. And I was only there in Santa Rosa for about 6 months. Then I moved to Austin. Got a job as a busboy.
Austin's good.
Yeah. And then when you get there, in Oregon...
So you were chasing music by then?
No, not yet.
You just went to Austin?
I thought I could be a lyricist, I should say.
Right.
But that was really a pipe dream. And in Oregon, people think that's Mars. Then you get to Texas, and lots of people are in bands and singing
in
Mars.
Austin, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like this crazy thing.
Yeah.
One of the things about seeing Jerry Jeff was There was 500 people there. It wasn't an arena. I was like, it was a bar.
Right.
He's having a blast. This doesn't seem impossible.
And that must have, on some level, been like, this is enough people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was like, I remember one time I was playing, I went to see this band play. I was about 18, and there was like 2 people waiting to see him. And they were leaning against a van smoking a cigarette. And I remember being 19 going, that would be such a great life.
Yeah. Just to be alone on stage.
Yeah.
On a night that was promoted.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know why that looked romantic. It still looks romantic to me.
I've talked about but smoking a cigarette, like even when you work at a restaurant. I mean, some of the best moments I had were after a breakfast shift, and you're just covered in grease, and you're out back, just smoking, talk to the other grill guy.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
That's good times. Some of the best cigarettes.
That's right. Some of the best cigarettes.
Kids, yes.
Do you smoke them?
Not anymore. I had to quit. I had to give up between pot and cigarettes when I went on the road. And
that's when
they keep doing it.
Right. That's when the pot uptake goes high.
Yeah.
I've done that one where I'm like, I'm not going to smoke cigarettes anymore. And then it's like, how much am I spending on weed?
Yeah, that's what I do. Still.
And what day is it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Did I play?
I feel like I've been on the road for I've been just traveling and just smoking dope and playing my show. Oh, sorry, Mom.
So she's still around?
Yeah, she lives in Port Orford, Oregon.
And she's into you?
No. Drives her nuts. It's an embarrassment.
Really?
It drives her crazy.
Your whole thing?
How many times have I mentioned weed in this moment already?
Oh, so just the weed thing, but what about the musician thing? Oh, Democrat thing.
Democrat thing is bad.
Now, wait, do they got money? Why are they Republicans without money?
No, they don't have money.
They'll never get that.
There you go.
I don't understand that one.
Welcome to Thanksgiving at my house. I hate it out there. I don't go to the suburbs. I've managed to I don't go to the suburbs. Haven't been since I ran away.
Not even when you...
That's where people get beat up, if you ask me.
Yep. Not even when you tour? You don't end up...
I always play on Hippie Street, or we call it Something to Do Street. You've traveled. Every town's got that little street. With
and they all compare it to bigger cities. Like, oh, you're from New York? We have this... Let's have this block here.
This is like... There's
just like a bookstore and a coffee shop and a guy talking to himself. Yeah. Like, hey, feel at home? And I'm like, no, it's... Nothing like me.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. It's just like a big city, isn't it? I don't know.
All the weirdos are down there.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Yeah.
And we know them.
One kid with blue hair. Yeah. Just standing there just looking like he's going to get his ass kicked.
They don't know real weirdos.
That's what I saw. That is true. So that's usually the street that we play. We always play on Liberal Street, and so I never have to, There's been a couple. One member, some guy waited in line to punch me one time.
Oh, really? Over which song?
He never said. He just did what he wanted to do. And
Did he punch you?
Yeah. Waited in line.
With the other fans?
Yeah.
So you're signing shit?
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, great, thanks.
Boom.
Thank you. Hi. Oh, really? Oh, wow.
And did he just do it, or did he tell you he was going to do it?
Just did it and walked away.
That's got to be a Jesus thing.
I loved it. And the band thought it was funny as hell.
Do you do a Jesus song?
I think it was probably some kind of Jesus thing.
Do you take him down a notch?
Not too bad. Maybe a little.
Yeah?
Maybe a little. And Christians and some Republicans take shots at my shit.
Yeah? Well, that's good. That's good press.
Why not?
It seems like you have a following of fairly, enlightened young people, but you also sing fun songs.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that some of those people may just separate you from your politics and just enjoy what you do.
Yeah, I think so. I have a song from when like 2002 or something like that. That's Beer Run. BEERRUN, Beer Run. And that's pretty much as deep as it gets.
Yeah.
That's
an anthem for the guys you hate.
Yeah, it is. I didn't see that coming. I thought it was a simple little song about beer, and then all of a sudden I got some frat guys will come and then they get a little pissed off sometimes. But
really?
I just have to let them.
That's got to be the greatest moment in the world.
Yeah, I don't have to preach to the choir.
That moment where frat guys just realize they're surrounded by different thinking people.
Yeah,
like when they're the minority.
Yeah.
And they just picked up on that one tune, and they're just surrounded by your people.
Yeah, I like
and everyone's loving it, and they're just like, "What's happening? Is he saying what we think he is?"
We do get that.
I saw that once when I was at South by Southwest. I went to see the Hold Steady in some little tent.
Yeah.
And, they talk about some pretty heavy shit, but it's pretty coded, but they're clearly not, but I just saw frat dudes.
Yeah.
And I never understood how musicians really can balance that, but I think it must be that there are going to be people that you don't like.
Yeah. I tried to get used to it. I even had a shrink talk about it one time, but that was years ago. Like, what am I going to do with these guys? They used to fucking beat the shit out of me, And now
now they're like, yeah,
they're out
beer
there,
run.
yeah, and they're shaking their fists. And looks like they're gonna beat me up if they don't.
And
but you know what? I kind of weeded them out a little bit.
What'd the shrink say?
I fucking never listened.
He probably said, "Well, how does this make you feel?"
Yeah,
I think I just explained that. Okay, I think we're out of time.
Yeah, I don't know what made me try that.
Try the
talk
shrink
about
thing?
desperate, right?
Well, I think that there's a. I think usually people go to shrinks when they, they're doing exactly what they want to do, but they still feel like shit.
Yeah, Catholic.
Oh, you brought up Catholic?
Yeah, I think I might have had to get out of that.
Were you wired hard for that shit?
Yeah, altar boy. I didn't get molested by a preacher.
Oh, so you didn't really live the life.
Didn't really live the thing. I feel a little gypped.
Yeah, you don't got that song.
I thought I was a cute young kid, too. I was a handsome young fella.
Yeah.
I still pissed at Father Brian. Fuck him.
Unfortunately, there's no Todd Snyder song. No Todd Snyder song is like, "Hey, Padre, lay off."
Padre.
Hands off, Padre.
Nope. No, I missed. I got screwed out of my romantic interlude with.
How many
priest.
sibs you got?
2.
So they all ended up on the Republican side.
Oh yeah.
Are they older, younger?
Older.
Oh really? So they're older people.
Yeah,
now.
and they have kids.
So they're entrenched.
Yeah. They live in the suburbs, and I don't really, I never really talk to them. Maybe if I do a show, they'll come around sometimes. But.
That's odd, though. Does that hurt your feelings?
Well, yeah.
It's weird, because you think after a certain age, can't we put this shit aside?
Yeah.
Let me see.
I think sometimes, too, I look back on when I first started making up songs, and I think if I had a delusional idea, I think I thought if I made albums that said, "This is dumb," my family would go, "Oh, you know what? You're right. And the magazine said you were right, too."
So we're clearly wrong.
I'm like, "Mom, Rolling Stone agrees with me." And they didn't sway them at all.
They're like, "Rolling Stone, that hippie magazine?"
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, so I had to give that dream. That was probably the idea when I look back. Why did I do it? I think that was probably the idea, but I had to give up on that before I was even 30.
But the Catholic thing, I mean, did you believe in hell when you were a kid and they had that fear put in you?
Yeah. I still, I don't think you get to lose it.
Really?
Are you not Catholic? Yeah.
No, I'm a Jew.
That's a good one. My wife's Jewish.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any fear going to hell.
We were never promised heaven, so we're just sort of like, this is it. We better just do what we can. I don't even know what, honestly.
I'm agnostic now, evangelically agnostic. I can't go with the whole atheist route.
Why?
I don't know what's going to happen when I die.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I always think. Why are we here?
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Right.
What are we supposed to do? I don't know. It's the answer. That's the answer to the question. There's a correct answer. I don't know.
Well, I think the saddest thing might be that we've been planted with that question. We're the only animals that are sort of like,
How come? How come that happened to us?
Why should I eat today? And now we got that thing just sitting in our heads. And it would be sort of sad if it was just sort of, and most likely it's probably just nothing.
What if it was just an ape ate, what is it, peyote?
Yeah.
An ape ate peyote.
Yeah.
And went, "Oh, shit."
Oh, you mean like that's how we evolved this?
Yeah.
Like, I know how to make something.
Yeah.
And I'm going to die.
Shit. What happens to those things? That must have been weird. In the dawn of time of stoner fabledom, that would be. They always thought, what would that be like, those first groups? Like, that guy's not moving anymore.
What does that mean?
What's that mean?
I used to just eat them.
Yeah.
No, we can't do that. Let's bury him. Yeah. That's the first psilocybin trip.
I don't have pants on.
Somebody write a book.
Yeah.
So, all right. So when did you start doing the thing?
Singing?
Yeah.
Right away.
In Austin?
Yeah, I got a guitar.
The Takamine.
Uh-huh.
But that was, so you saw Jerry Jeff, that was in Texas.
Yeah.
Right,
and started following him around because he plays just 3-chord songs. And so that was a big, I also thought, I could do that. I could play like that. Mm-hmm. That doesn't look like Jimi Hendrix. And so I followed him around, learned some basic chords, and started making up songs. And I was a busboy at this place called Peppers. And there was a band playing, and somebody talked me into getting up and playing one of my songs. And I got up and sang, and then it went good, and the owner of the restaurant liked it that I did that, and he kept encouraging me to do it. And it only took like 3 months, and I only had 2-chord songs, but like 3 months after I bought a guitar, I wasn't being the busboy anymore, and I sang at this bar on Fridays and Saturdays.
At Peppers.
Peppers, yeah.
And
just made up my own songs.
All of them. You didn't play any covers?
I didn't know how. And they were a lot of them I was making up on the spot.
Just riffing.
Just giving.
Now, were there people coming, or was
it? Right off the bat, it worked.
Really?
Uh-huh.
People were like, this guy's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think that might have been it. I talked a lot. I didn't have a lot of songs, so I talked to cover time.
And that's
all I could think of was I'm drinking free. I'm making as much as I was making as a busboy. I'm doing my poems that I like.
Yeah. Oh, so you're writing poetry too?
I always did that when like when I was saying I wanted to be a lyricist in a band. I thought that I made up poems, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you do kind of.
Yeah.
So there was an element of it's almost stand up in a way, storytelling,
a little bit.
And would that just happen naturally? You didn't listen to like Tom Waits' Nighthawks at the Diner or anything?
Not till I was by the time I heard that, I was a working guy. I had a record, but there was Arlo and
oh, that's right. Now it's his restaurant.
Ramblin' Jack Elliott.
Oh, yeah,
somebody
yeah.
you could study.
And you listen to him?
Yeah, and I knew that Jerry Jeff looked up to him. John Prine was the.
Well, Prine was like the guy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's and he. It seems to me that if I listen to where you're coming from, that sort of weird line of humor, heart, and saying something. Prine's that guy.
Yeah, I think he's probably my favorite one with the words. I love Jerry Jeff, but he doesn't even make up all his own songs. John was another one that I just memorized all his stuff. There's 4: Chris Christopherson, Billy Joe Shaver, John Prine, and Jerry Jeff Walker. Are those guys I can beat them in trivia contests about themselves. And I could also play in their bands tonight. If they needed a guitar player, I could do it.
And like with Prine, I mean,
I've done a lot of touring with him.
Really?
And he had this. He took me under his wing for a big chunk of my life.
Where was that?
I still see him. It was in my 30s. I made like 3 records for him, and he would come and help me, and then take me on the road. And I actually had a big. He helped me a lot. I had made 3 records already, and we started being managed. He took me on tour, and then we started being managed by the same person. And then I went to make a record, and I gave him. I made a tape of these 13 songs that I had made up, and I said, "John, will you check this out?" And he called me back and said, "I listened to your tape." And I said, "What do you think of the songs?" He said, "I like one of them." and thus began this really hard process. But it was good for me.
What'd you do with those other 12?
Threw them out.
Did you?
Never looked back.
Was that so you'd already done 2 records?
Yeah, 3. And I had just been fired from MCA. And
why were you fired?
Told everyone to fuck off.
Oh, that's a good moment. Good for you, man.
Yeah, I just was not having it.
You're living the life.
Yeah. I played 2 songs and said, "Go fuck yourself."
Because there were too much industry in the room?
Yeah, and they were bugging me, and I was just tired of it.
What were they bugging you with? Yeah, you got to sound the same all the time.
Yeah.
How come this one isn't as funny as the other one?
Yeah, and they're all in the dressing room before the show,
their
breathing
suits
down my face, and I just didn't think it was. I used to really not like L.A., and I like it a lot now. But at that time, it just felt really phony to me, and all the chicks seemed like they had fake tits and fake lips. At the time, the lip thing was just starting.
Yeah, that still happens. But now you come out around here in Silver Lake, you're like, oh, they're not. Yeah, they're doing better things with their lips. Like you can't. That's the weird thing is that that thing started, but then they seem to have mastered the technology. Yeah, and now you're like, did she do something with her lips? I don't fucking care. I can't.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Yeah, but it's a weird thing when somebody like who has a sensibility that you do, because I had that as well. When you're out there in the world doing your shit. And L.A. represents this weird mixture of opportunity and the enemy.
Yeah, that's what I felt like, too.
It's weird, though, because as a responsible artist, at some point you're sort of like, well, I'd like to make money at this.
Yeah.
But that's always, that's secondary to like, fuck them, and they don't fucking understand what I'm doing.
I think I was like 29. I'm 45 now, and I swear, I hear people say all the time that the music business is full of these awful people, and I really don't think it is, I think that's like what you were just saying. I think that was fear or something.
Right, but you got to find the right people. I mean, there are shitty people in show business that'll sell you out. Yeah. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's like, we love what you do, we got this money, but could you do this? And you're like, I don't know if I could wear that.
Yeah.
That's silly.
Yeah.
It's like that old Bill Hicks joke. What is it? Like, do whatever you want. Just put this dress on. All right, there you go. Go.
Yeah. I only had that for one really brief period of my life. It was that record, and I just was sick of it. I made one record in my life where...
Which one?
It was called Viva Satellite, and man, did it suck, and nobody liked it. It sounds like a Tom Petty outtakes.
So was that what they were trying to do? Did you choose the band? Was it your guys?
Yeah, it was my guys. But I was in charge. I don't know. Actually, I think I was just being... I don't know what the hell we were thinking.
Well, it must have been the production.
Yeah, and everybody was really liking the idea that we were a rock band. It was just got out of hand. I can't believe now when I listen to it that I couldn't hear it just sounds like somebody's trying to be Tom Petty.
Really?
Yeah. It's not a terrible record. There's weird people that come up, especially in Texas, that are like, when are you going to start doing shit like that again? And I'm like, well, fuck. I took a beating for that. It was really, I thought, just a bland-ass record. And
so you really have to deal with that same struggle that, like, Dylan had to deal with, is that, you know, you got folkies or you got singer-songwriter fans who are like, oh, no, he rocked out. He overproduced.
Yeah. People that like me are generally mad at me. Wouldn't you agree? My crowd is mad at me.
For one thing or the other?
Always, yeah. Fucking always. I can't go out after. It's an argument. Every time.
Like about what?
Anything.
Really?
Everything. I can't stay out of a fucking argument.
But are they like, why didn't you do this?
Yeah, when are you going to do that?
Really?
You know, yeah. When are you going to do this again? How come you don't try that?
That's the problem with lefties, man.
In
general. I mean, whether, like, there's something about, like, I did Lefty Talk Radio for a year and a half. You're never going to fucking please us.
Yeah, I don't even try.
You know, they're going to be like, well, that song is interesting, but I think you could have taken more of a risk.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck you. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. You're just, why do I have to provide this place for you to act intellectual?
Because you're a singer-songwriter. Yeah. You're a voice of a generation. Yeah. Come on.
I'm a drunk, first and foremost.
Quit talking about weed. There's things to be done.
Nope. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. Our motto is, who let you in?
Is that on the tour bus?
Yeah.
And who let you in tour?
Yeah. Who let them in?
So when did you move to Nashville?
That would have been right after that record I was just talking about.
The shitty record.
Yeah. I ended up in rehab. I had to go twice that year.
Booze?
Morphine and booze.
Morphine.
Great combo, man.
How were you getting morphine? Did you have the chronic back pain? Did you have a good doc?
I just met this guy that was a druggy guy.
The guy
that could get everything.
Hey, get on the bus.
Yeah, he was running a studio. I forget where, in Memphis.
Now, I want to try to understand something because I don't know that I've ever understood it.
Yeah.
And I've been around those guys. I mean, I hung out with Kennison. I knew a lot of dudes. I did my own share of drugs. But there are these dudes that are literally like, I can get you whatever you need. Yeah. And they might as well just say, do you want to die? Because I can help you with that.
Yeah.
But you know, we're happy they're there.
Yeah.
And they know that we should stop.
Yeah. And they're doing it.
And I guess that's the catch.
Yeah.
Is that, and they're close to a dude that they look up to and everything. I actually had a drug dealer in LA when I was 21 and I was living out here who said, you got to leave. And I'm like, when the drug dealer tells you to go.
You've stayed too long.
Yeah, well, that's just about the nicest thing as they can say.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you any more.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why those guys are there. Why do you think they're there? Because they're hurting us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I don't know.
They don't see that they're hurting themselves, so they think they're just having a party.
Yeah, I think they think they're helping.
Yeah.
Most venues have them.
Yeah.
Most like the El Rey, wasn't there a guy last night? If we'd have wanted it. Yeah.
He's being diplomatic.
Yeah.
There might have been a guy, I don't know, I don't want
to... Nobody's got to know nothing. Hey, a lot of things were said last night. A lot of things were said. Everybody was saying stuff.
Who knows what's real and what isn't, you know? But so you went into rehab and you got off the morphine?
Yeah, I met my wife.
In rehab?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a deep meeting there.
Yeah, and you know, you're not supposed to say who was in the rehabs with you, but you know who was in rehab with me? That fucking woman that shot Phil Hartman was in my little hold her hand group.
Oh, really?
She wouldn't see. She kept saying, "I have my boyfriend's my husband's famous. And nobody gave a shit. Everybody's off trying to get off. Everyone's like, I'm shaking and sweating. I don't give a fuck about your husband." I don't know why, but I had this weird feeling. And then I'd been out of rehab for like 2 months. I was on the road, sitting in my hotel. And the television said, Phil Hartman died, and I swear to God, I thought, that's going to be that chick.
Yeah.
And then her picture came on.
Yeah.
Right on the thing, I went, that's that chick. And I think she had told everybody that her husband, she kept saying his initials, so I think I had that too. It's like, Phil Hartman. I went, Phil Hartman, P.H. Oh, shit, that chick from rehab shot him. And it was her.
Where was this rehab?
Sierra Tucson.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona.
Yep.
And then I met my wife there, and we moved she was living in Manhattan, and by that time I was living in a town called Fairview on a little farm.
In Texas?
Right now, outside of Nashville.
So you'd already moved there?
Yeah, I'd moved from Memphis.
I don't understand. Why don't you explain to me the whole, like I was in Nashville recently, and I've known guys that have gone there, but it's literally, I've had cab drivers give me tapes.
Yeah.
I mean, what is how does that work? How do you enter that world? Because I know what LA is. LA is like, I got a band, look, we got a sound, boom.
Yeah.
But like Nashville seems to be this other thing. It almost seems like anybody's got a shot there. Or is that a miss?
There's a lot of things you can do besides have a famous band. You can write. There's writing, you know. It's interesting. I didn't go till I already had made some records, and so I had some ins, and my manager was there. But I live in East Nashville, which is where you move when you first come. And
right.
So I hang out at my bar. Most of the kids I drink beer with just got there.
Yeah.
And they've got their tape, and they're trying.
But they're like looking to write. They'll write a song for a popular artist, or they'll try to do their own thing. But most of the people are trying to land songs with country acts, right?
Yeah, you know what? I think the thing to do now is to try your ass off to write a Toby Keith song, but never admit that.
Right.
And you at the bar, you're like, that's bullshit. And when I do it, it's gonna. That's a common thing in Nashville. Country music sucks. It needs to change. Now I've got to cut. And it's just the same as it's always been. But my new attitude is, it's changing.
Yeah.
And it's real now.
Well, it's weird that, like, it seems like the big change that people claim ruined country music was more, production and and chord structure.
Yeah.
That they were just sort of like, well, hell, we can do Billy Joel.
Yeah, that's right. Isn't that the truth? It's always like it's rock from 10 years ago. Watch, here comes Nirvana, I think. Nirvana is going to be the next big thing in country. The broken down verse with the screaming chorus. It's got to be coming.
Now, am I wrong in thinking that this new record, the agnostic
and Stoner Fables,
that is a little more of a band sound, isn't it?
Yeah, and I brought the band on the road this year.
Yeah,
I was always, I told the band when we started, I wanted to copy the records with Desire by Dylan, a lot of Neil Young, Ragged Glory, Tonight's the Night. Lou Reed, New York, all them sloppy records. I was like, let's get drunk and make a sloppy record and not be on the radio, and not.
Yeah, you can definitely hear that.
And I told him, I said, I want to sound like some gypsies, and I want to sound like black people, and gypsy people. Don't try not to sound white. And I didn't want anybody sober. Not that I think it makes it better, but I just think sometimes it's.
You mean in the band?
Yeah, like we have this thing that we do 200 nights a year, and it always starts at 9 o'clock at night, and you've always had 2 glasses of wine before you do it. And then the idea that now that we're going to go do it for posterity, I'll meet you there at 8 in the morning and we'll have coffee. Like, why are you doing that? I like the idea of starting the session right around gig time.
Yeah? You scheduled it that way.
Yeah.
This was your idea for the sound's sake.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want people going through the whole wave of a day.
Yeah, I didn't want any of that.
And have all these weird takes, like the just waking up take, the jammed on coffee take, and then